Good evening to you, Speed Gaming fans. Hope everyone is having a good night. If not, we'll try and make it a little better because we have a battle tonight in the bracket rounds between the 3 and 2 Falconic. Had to get here via the play-in race. Finished second overall in the play-in race. He is currently ranked 13th in SRL standings. ShadowWalker automatically qualified for the brackets with a 4-1 record. Currently stands 6th in SRL points. Now, how much are those points worth? About the same as they are on Whose Line Is It Anyways. How you doing tonight, Cyclone?
I'm doing great. This should be a great matchup coming up tonight. As you said, yeah, they have some great SRL points, but just like you said, the points don't matter. They're just as good as Garland's standing in the first 5 minutes.
As far as them battling against each other, it's 2 for Falconic, 3 for ShadowWalker. They've never raced heads up, but in terms of where they finished in field races, edge to ShadowWalker there. Though I will say Falconic has the more recent victory, that back in November. Let's quickly cover that they are running tonight by agreement. Fighter, Thief, and Red Mage. And I do mean those classes because they will not be class changing. They have banned that by runner's agreement. So this is what they got for the night.
This is going to make it even all the more exciting because that means that our fighters are not going to be able to pick up any magic. That means no life charge if it shows up at level 1, level 2 for the fighters. The Red Mage is going to be the only one who can do any magic all night. So that's going to add an extra incentive and extra challenge to the Temple of Fiends Revisited, especially in terms of what they will be able to do on the way down.
Yeah, with the mages, Red Mage, you're always hoping for some good early AoE magic, and you'd really like Fast and Temper to roll in spots where you're able to use it particularly fast. You can always find the Power Gauntlet to make up the difference on Temper, but nothing replaces that good old fast spell.
Yeah, that will be a spell that will be very dearly missed if it does not show up at an early level. I am fairly certain both runners will be looking for that level 1, level 2, so they can have extra charges of that if needed later on. Now, we're underway now. We are getting a look at the white magic, and I saw A-Rub and Zap before it disappeared. There's Zap now, actually. Ice 2, Lit 2, and Slow 2 in the black magic.
Viz 2, Heal 3. This is a tough to decide level of. Oh, I believe one of those is on the harm spot and unlearnable. Pro rings for 13k.
Well, that's an expensive pro ring, but the good equipment comes expensive, I guess.
Both of them hit up the weapon shop, which is a good call. Your fighter does a lot better when he's got a weapon in his hand.
We have cheap cabins today, 82 gold for a cabin.
I don't know if Shadow's got enough money to purchase that. It's probably not a huge setback, but it is annoying when you can't throw save down outside of Temple of Fiends.
It looks like he might be taking a fight out here just to make a little money, perhaps to buy one of those. I think that's what he's doing right now.
Ice 2, you'll definitely take out imps as long as they don't do something.
We're getting our item checks in Temple of Fiends, by the way. A wooden helmet. That's kind of like an item you'd expect to see at that phase of the game. So nothing much there. We're going to see what's in the upper room behind those 2 chests right now. Heal Potion and Iron Gauntlet.
Chat says you didn't know you could start out with 3 players. You can run the Nun class, but you can never bring it out. So often people with the Dan strats of leaving a party member down like to actually bring that party member so that they can always revive them in a situation where they'd be useful. Nun, however, you sacrifice that advantage, but it actually plays faster. Like, it will actually play faster to have the Nun than if you had a 4th character that you had to drop.
Indeed, you don't have to manage that 4th character and basically are able to only worry about the 3 you have. You know this is all you have, you're going to plan for that. So we just found the Oxio from the Princess. That's going to give us access to the Sea Shrine later when we find Onrak. Garland went down to an Ice 2 spell on Falconic's side.
We also saw the Tail, which is a completely worthless item tonight. Actually, it has 1 minor value because it moves them closer to the experience bonus, but they won't be turning in the Tail this evening.
ShadowWalker's character Jack took a fall to the wolves and the imps here in the Temple of Fiends, so he's down to 2 characters for this Garland fight.
As long as he's got that ice too, he's gonna be fine.
Yeah.
Looks like this Garland wasn't very high on the HP, and he's not in the base game. You just don't have a lot of spells to deal with.
Garland does have poison, though. Poison touch.
Well, in this game, what doesn't? Cabin and a house from Matoya's game. Not a lot to speak of, but Falconic does walk it out. Question in chat, they won't be turning into the tail. No, that was a runner's agreement that there will be no class change today.
Yeah, it just adds an extra bit of a challenge, especially for 2 top-level runners such as these. So it is going to be very fun seeing how they handle the 3 runners, no promotion setup here. Definitely a very good challenge, and you see a lot of different kinds of games. You see agreements like this between runners all the time. This is just their way to make it more challenging and more fun, not only for them, but for us watching as well.
So it's very common that people go over and check Provoca first, because in these Swiss flags, there was a lot of potential benefit in getting over here, because especially with Crescent Lake and Provoca, you had 2 opportunities to get a key item early. Now, with the changes that we have in bracket flags, there's not quite as much opportunity. However, it does pay off with Provoca being at Provoca, so we're going to very much welcome that side.
Yeah, vanilla Provoca means typical early Pirates fight today. Arr, matey. So we're going to get to see what the landlubbers over there have today once we defeat them.
Well, the good news is Ice 3 is the most valuable of element spells. The bad news is they don't have some situational fire spells, which are great for dealing with early undead situations. So we're in pretty good shape for Magic, just not over the moon great situation.
Yeah, pretty good at this point for this early in the game. I mean, the Pirates all died to a single Ice 3 blast. What more could you need? Opal Bracelet was found from the Pirates, so that takes one of the separate items out of the pool. That means that there is more potential for a loose item to be needed now, one of the key items.
It's also interesting because where does that put our progression? Either because Canoe and Ship are not going to be for sale. They can't be a vendor item down at Elfland.
Dwarf Cave.
So we could have Loose in Dwarf Cave, Loose in Marsh, or vendor item fetch quest out of Elfland. But the possible scenarios have really narrowed up with these early items. What if Elfland is on rack?
Yes, please.
We've got the Oxyale. It's kind of what the seed is warning us
Yeah,
of.
I kind of want to see that. I could almost see them having to go into there. They're probably going to do Marsh Cave before going to the Sea Shrine anyway, just to get a couple extra levels, perhaps, while trying to check those chests. But we do know at the same time Marsh Cave's item is now locked behind the Mystic Key, the incentivized chest. So it's either, if it's a loose item in Marsh that they have to get for progression, they're going there without the key and they're leaving that item behind.
Well, here comes Dwarf, so it's our first chance. Nothing
Just
there.
money. Falconic already talking to the dwarf to cheer up. Hooray!
Question in chat, what is incentivized as opposed to last round? In terms of items, that Opal Bracelet is the one difference, that it is added to the incentive pool. In terms of locations, well, we've moved the Marsh Cave incentive from the Wizard Chest to the Locked Wizard Chest, which is the lower right one at the bottom of the Marsh Cave. It is on rack!
Burn Lich! Oh, this is gonna be fun. Ladies and gentlemen, you've tuned in for a good one.
I just want to say right now, Falconic, when you watch this VOD, you literally asked for this.
Early Siege Shrine, what? Oh my.
And there is no other source of progression, so it is something that is loose here. They've only got ice spells for magic, although I believe they had Lit 2 at level 1.
I saw several 2 magics. I think I saw a Fire 2 down there, if I'm not mistaken. I don't recall Lit 2 being one of them. I could be mistaken, though.
Talking to the neglected NPCs. Now, they didn't... I don't think either of them picked up Quad X, but where I would like to test the waters, pardon the pun, is these Gersharks. If you threw Quad X on them, found out they were easy to kill, you could get your level up really fast off of that.
Well, it'll be interesting to see if ShadowWalker decides to make the play to Marsh to look for the loose chest first. That would be a very interesting route of divergence in a situation like this to see which route turns out to be the correct route here.
Now, there were some waters showing up. They're actually vulnerable to ice, so Ice 3, the best spell you can have there. Falconic makes his way down to the mermaids. We've got some ice armor, which is going to be good defensively. A big pile of money just makes a lot of things better.
It helps for the vendor item, that's for sure. We're going to make our way to the room up in the upper right, which can only be accessed through this long walkway. It has a silver helmet, more money, and very little amount of money.
I think that ice armor is going to warrant that you would walk this out. Not only is it the best you're going to do on the knight right now, it's the best... Well, never mind, I'm not class changing. The mage staff is a phenomenal find. That just makes the world better.
There's the ice sword, that also helps. Quickly turning that around.
The payoff has been huge here. There's a lot of value in these treasures, but we do not have a progression item as of yet.
And that's the silver shield.
He's walking all this out. No question. There's just way too much we've gotten here.
He's definitely walking it out.
Well, his intent is to walk it out. We'll see if the enemies have other ideas. He's still a very low level, and basically any AoE damage is going to kill his party.
That ice sword will definitely help with the fighting as long as he doesn't get hit by a massive bound of spells. So that sword will definitely help him.
Honestly, at these levels, it's really not going to. He's not going to get enough damage output.
Yeah.
He doesn't have the hits, he doesn't have the strength.
They're just being forced in here way too early, so it's a case of see if the progression's in here, and if so, then you know you have to come back through and get it out. If not, then go to Marsh.
Well, and I think this is the right call on Falconic's side to try and get out of here with the treasures you've got. He didn't even check the rest of those chests on his way out, because he just got too much, and you don't want to have to redive all the way to mermaids. So save this, then go back in, and you can get the other boxes and reset if there's no value there.
I will be interested later in a moment to see if he goes back in and keeps looking on the way to Kraken for the progression. I don't see him going to Kraken yet. He's just too low level to take that on, I think. But you never know. You never know what he might decide to do. He's going to go back in. So the question will be, will he actually try to finish this while he's here, or will he just bail after checking the items?
Well, starting to go to the left suggests he is planning to go to the Kraken side. A question in chat, was buy 10 an option in the original? Not in the original game, but it was one of the first conveniences that the Great Entroper added to the Randomizer. So it's one of the longest standing features, and You can never give it enough praise because it just is so much better than sitting there and buying 90 heal potions. Chad is reviewing some of the great conveniences features added by the randomizer, walking at dash speed. Another big one is the screen transitions are so much faster. The end of the battle back to the world, that would have taken 2 or 3 times as long in vanilla.
So you just saw ShadowWalker taking a wipe in the Siege Shrine. That shows just how tough the Siege Shrine is at these low levels. This is normally the way the game is routed. In the vanilla game, this is the third dungeon, third Fiend dungeon that you have to go through. There are others before it, of course. So it's the third Fiend dungeon you have to do. We're doing it first today, so he's on quite a difficult journey just to get to the top floor to try to walk some stuff out. So Falconic is making his way to the next treasure-bound area, or treasure-laden area of the Siege Shrine. Finds some money in these 2 chests. Gonna go to the 2nd floor now.
These Sahags are quite the annoyance because there's something you wish you had lightning for, don't.
They also always attack in large numbers too.
Yeah, they're going to be in large numbers. They're always going to be unrunnable. Looks like Shadow is testing the waters with these angry sharks, and he gets a Quad X to succeed. I don't know if they were low enough that he got Quad X to work, or if he had to weaken them down enough to get it. He obviously hit them first. But I'm just curious if the Quad X was enough.
Well, we found a coral sword, but that's still not what we're looking for here. Still looking for some progression.
It's a solid find because it's one of the best swords you're going to do on
Indeed.
the thief. That coral, rune, and dragon sword, they're all very close to each other in value. ShadowWalker has gotten to the mermaid's floor, so he's about to get all of the wonderful stuff that's here. And looks like something crit that ninja pretty hard.
Yeah, Axel is kissing the ground right now, as is Win.
So if you're just joining us, we have found no other source of progression.
There it is.
Now we have the loose canoe. That opens the world up. Do you just walk it out? Does Falconic check the rest of the stuff here? This is a tough question.
At this point, he's about to die.
Can he survive?
He's not going to get out. He's not going to get out. He reset.
Alright, so now he knows where it is. He has been able to progress through this seed faster than ShadowWalker has so far. He's got all of the good stuff that the treasure boxes were offering here. There's a few we haven't seen in between.
Axel already got a knee on the first encounter here. This is proving to be a challenge.
So this is kind of even a double challenge, if you will. Falconic knows where he's going. The good news with that is he can save steps and just go right to it, skipping the stuff he doesn't need. The bad news is he has to walk out of here with it. We don't have warp, we don't have exit. All you can do is walk it out. So chat wonders if you shouldn't level up.
I was just thinking the same thing. I wonder if it would make sense at this point, now that you know where the canoe is, go to Marsh and see what you can find. Hopefully you don't have to go back later for the incentive item there. And get some levels while you're checking the chest there. That's an idea that some people could do at this point, especially if they don't want to go to the Sea Shrine this early. So it is a possibility. Of course, these 2 runners are really good runners. I would actually be surprised if either of them do that.
It says I'd head anywhere but here, no way to kill Kraken. Well, see, you don't have a lot of choice is the problem.
And yes, another
Death
one.
Touch? Was that Death Touch or just critting that?
I missed it. I would have to check on the replay to confirm, but they definitely died very quickly. It might have been Death Touch.
The message speed just goes by so fast. It's
it does.
Hard to read. It's great for 98% of the time or more. Because you're just getting messages you don't care about out of the way. But sometimes when you really want a piece of information...
I'm just going back and take another look at that encounter now. The lobsters have cremate, which obviously doesn't help. And it looks like they were just slain. Very hard hits. They were poisoned and slain at the same time.
Oh, okay. If they were poisoned, it wasn't that touch. It could only be one of those.
Yeah.
That is kind of one mercy you get from the randomizer, is if it's shuffled the touch attacks, the enemy only gets one of them.
Exactly.
So your stone touch, death touch, poison touch, it can only have one. But 4 hits, that's a lot of room to crit, and the sea trolls are hitting.
So ShadowWalker is working his way back to the main floor. He's going to walk out the stuff from upstairs. Now he's going to have to head downstairs and look for his canoe.
ShadowWalker checked some extra stuff that Falconic did not. We didn't see anything stand out to me where there was a payoff there.
I didn't see much either. I saw a silver armor at one point. That was the one that got my eye, but not really much else.
Question in chat about the Red Sahag, Wizard Sahag always being unlockable. That's correct, because the way the encounter tables work, and visit the Development Ballads channel if you, or new the channel and like more information. But basically, fights are linked. There's an A and B side, and because that's on the other side of a boss fight, it has to stay unrunnable. But for more on the randomizer, a good place to start is FinalFantasyRandomizer.com. Falconic has reobtained the canoe.
He also reobtains his 9 gold.
Well, that one's just free.
Yeah.
He's heading up to Sharknado. Now, Sharknado... no, I'm sorry,
He's trying to get out.
I never walk back to this staircase. the reverse walk is weird.
It is, and he's getting attacked by everything now that he has the canoe again. It's like grabbing the canoe is waking a sleeping bear. You do not get to keep that.
Wow. ShadowWalker has left and gone to Marsh.
Well, there goes my theory.
The nightmare scenario could be this being the ship. If the ship is loose in Marsh Cave by chance, he could go all over the world away from that canoe. But Falconic, 0 for 2 getting out of here with this canoe.
It's begging the question, is he going to raise levels or is he going to just get the canoe and just keep trying? He's just wandering around now. He's raising his levels a little bit.
He didn't buy Quad X, which is probably an immediate regret right now. ShadowWalker did, and was able to kill those sharks with it. They were usually, if not in Quad X range, close to it. ShadowWalker finds a ribbon, that's big.
That is nice. Now, we don't know if that is one of our quote-unquote loose items, or whether that is actually one of the ribbons that is normally in the chest, because there are 3 available. 2 are guaranteed to be in chests. If we see all 3 in chests, we know then that it was one of our loose items.
Chad asked what happened on Falconic's side, and was answered ghosts. Well, I would say ghosts plus level 5. Now he's level 8, and I'd go right on out of here and save at the end. Especially to bring one back up, probably. Well, no, that's probably the 3. Yeah, I like leveling up just the 2.
I might have gone one more fight just to get a couple more levels, but I can't blame him getting out with the extra levels on the 2.
Well, you just got 2, I believe 2 additional casts of Ice 3 for that level, so the instant in is great. Plus, if that's first encounter off Power Cycle, which apparently it wasn't, then he'd want to reset and get the same fight again. Well, he keeps memeing and talking to the Kobe there, but if he knew what we knew, he would not be spending the time doing that.
Yeah, I was actually about to put that out myself. He keeps talking to Kobe, like, okay, we are memeing, but the more memeing that is done, it does add up after a while.
Yeah, if he... Falconic has a ton of respect for ShadowWalker as a top runner, and ShadowWalker's level of performance in this tournament has been so good. His only loss came to Crab Cakes, which that's pretty good when you can say that. He also knocked off One Fine Day, who was 4-0 going into that match. So a tremendous effort in this tournament for ShadowWalker, who now is going to have to go back. Well, got to get the South Pole first.
Falconic is doing more leveling like I thought he might. I'm surprised he made the trip out in between, but I guess he's trying to get levels on the third character as well, so he wanted to make sure he got him healed and then save what progress he did have.
Well, this also lets him spam the spells.
Indeed.
When you can get back to an end quickly, it's just really good to do that. Falconic, if you only knew! Yeah, so the reason he's doing this is he thinks ShadowWalker is a massive favorite coming into here. And these matches are so close, I think he's underestimating himself. Put that. ShadowWalker is a great runner, Falconic is a very, very, very strong runner. And this gap is closer than he's treating it. So he's having fun, and you know what? If you're not playing randomizers to have fun, why are you playing them? But that's just right now. This advantage is his because of ShadowWalker going to Marsh Cave.
Yeah, he's at a great advantage right now, but at the same time, I don't blame him for wanting to earn those levels just to make sure he can get himself out of here later.
No, I don't mean the levels. I mean talking to the NPC.
Oh, talking to NPCs, yeah. Talking to NPCs, yeah. Don't waste time doing that.
ShadowWalker is about done in this Marsh Cave. Good news for ShadowWalker is the levels game. I didn't really... Well, he got the ribbon as well, so there is an equipment advantage for that. You run into Cremate in Sea Shrine and you just don't care as much anymore now. The stuff that's just hitting hard, that's a different story, but levels do help that.
And this is probably one of the reasons he came here, because he knew he could get the items out of here. And this is why I also support this play, because he can get the items out of here while getting some levels off of the enemies in here. And that will give him the extra charges that you mentioned on the Ice 3, for example, and make it easier for him to get through the Sea Shrine and go looking for where the progression, we know where it is, the canoe, on the floor before Kraken.
The only thing we don't know is if there's anything else on this floor. I mean, not scouting Sharknado first perhaps could be a mistake, because you know what if there's a Masamune up there?
Yeah, there very well could be something very lovely up there, so you may want to get that looked at just to be safe. But at the same time, he knows the progression is here, he knows he's going to have to come back here later, and when he does come back later, he'll be likely at the level he wants to handle it anyway and get it done, so he probably figures he can check Sharknado then.
I'm curious what ShadowWalker is going back to now. I do not know what his play is. He's heading back towards Dwarf Cave right now. He did check 2 items there. Did he bypass Matoya earlier and going back to those?
Yeah, he's heading back to Corneria area.
That's the only thing I can figure is that he's going to Matoya's.
No, down to Corneria.
Was there anything good in the Marsh Cave? There was indeed a ribbon, so that is certainly good.
So let's see what ShadowWalker's up to. He's heading over to the
Pro Rings.
armor.
Pro Rings.
Pro Rings, yeah, Pro Rings. Pro Rings, good call.
That is a definite defensive upgrade. He definitely has the money to do it. I don't know if I would have valued the defense enough to make this play, but if you gotta go back into Sea Shrine, guess the logic for ShadowWalker is I'll take every advantage I can get.
Yeah, he probably just wants to make sure he can get through this without having to repeat it over and over, and then have to come and get the pro rings later anyway.
He's going Peninsula Power.
Oh.
He is going to Peninsula of Power to get the levels. It's all I can figure from this walk. What I don't like about that, as Falconic does get out of there with the canoe, so he has done it.
Progressing.
And the world starts opening. But Quad X against those great white sharks is the play to me.
He's over to the magic shop. He's getting Bane. And what's he doing over here at the...
Maybe houses?
Item shop?
Tents, save items.
Some tents.
Yep.
They're cheaper than cabins. Why not?
Yeah, tents are in limited supply. I think there's only 2 shops that sell them in the game. So, if you're doing a lot of overworld saving, you want as many as you can.
So yeah, he was just walking to get all those items. He's heading back now, and I think he's going to try to get back around to Alpha now and then do, or on rack as it actually is today, and then try and do Sea Shrine now with all that extra stuff.
Okay, couple things to address in chat. They did choose to, by agreement, to do the 3-man party. They chose that these were the classes they were going to run, and I do mean classes because they will not class change. Falconic is making use of the canoe to explore. I thought I had one more thing to mention, but it's not coming to mind right now.
He's going to head over to the Crescent Lake area right now. He doesn't have a floater yet, so the desert is useless to us right now. But we're going to get to see what's in the not so high sea-ish water today after he resets that encounter.
The good news for ShadowWalker here is he ought to be able to do this considerably faster than Falconic did. He's got more defense, he's got more levels, and he's got more ribbons. Now, I'd still love to see him take 1 or 2 more.
So for those of you who were... I didn't mean to interrupt you. For those who were just taking a look, you may have just noticed that the good doctor is not at his usual spot in Melman, but Bahamut is sitting in his place today. So we have doctors on vacation, ladies and gentlemen.
That was the other thing I was going to mention, is a veteran move, as Rokuusis would say, for Falconic. When he was at Elfland area, he went into the castle to check which NPC was here. These are the 3 objective NPCs, as they're called, are shuffled. So it's Dr. Un from Melmund, it's the elf nurse who tends to the prince, and Bahamut. So between their 3 positions, they shuffle, and now Falconic has seen 2 of the 3, had a chance to make note of where they are, so he also knows who's hanging out in Bahamut's cave.
So if you see them going to the Cardia Islands later, you know that there's something besides Bahamut there, and that is the case, because Bahamut is in where we just saw him in Melman. So we know that we're going to have to go to the Cardia Islands for something other than promoting later.
Now, when I'm looking at the scenario our runners find themselves in, with the canoe in hand, and now access to an incentive location in Ice Cave, strong indication the seed is telling us that's where our progression is. It could be the ship, it could be the floater. Falconic is making the play into Armory to see what kind of gear he can obtain. With the Ice Sword in hand, killing Carrie is not out of the question.
Agreed. I still wonder if he might be slightly low level. What is he, about 10, 11 right now?
Yes, he is low level at the moment, but implied in killing this being a kill carry run is you would pick up levels while here.
Yeah, he would probably be able to do the Ackerman grind if he can get down to that floor. That might not be a bad idea, given where this seed is already taking us.
Now ShadowWalker finds the loose canoe, considerably after Falconic found it, but is Shadow going to be able to get out of here? 5 Wiz Mummies. If Mage Staff does its job here, this is going to be great.
Oh, there's Glance.
Well, he's got the Pro Ring, and he's got a couple levels for Magic Defense. Mage Staff is getting about half the job done. And the Bane Sword, the game clincher for Falconic.
That is a great find.
Now, does ShadowWalker take the canoe out immediately, or does he further investigate what is on this floor? Because there are still treasures we've not seen.
Well, we're getting to the armory now. Looks like he's just heading down there now. So that's, I think, 12 chests. Quick count. Yeah, 12 chests that we're going to get to see right now. As we're fighting some more very ugly-looking creatures. That was the power gauntlet I think I saw there.
You did see that there. It is a tremendous find. It is a very valuable weapon. Well, very valuable for boosting weapons because it's a cast a saber.
There's a Zeus gauntlet. That's a nice one too.
Yeah, that's where you're saying, where were you when I needed to get through Sea Shrine? Katana would be a great find for a ninja, but we're not going to have ninjas, so it's just lunch.
So the armory is delivering, albeit for one of the items a little bit late, later than would have been appreciated. So he does clean out the armory. I think he's going to walk this out and come back in. That's what I think he's going to do.
What feels right to me is take that Zeus gauntlet, go to ice. There's no item shop at Melmond, so you'd have to go all the way up to Provoca if you were going to buy heals before going back into the other dungeon. So I really don't like the idea of investing here, using up those heals when you've got a pretty good indication that your progression's in Ice Cave.
I still have a feeling he's going to want to get this cleaned out and never have to come back, but we'll see what he decides to do in a moment. He's just saving now. Nope, he is leaving. He might be going to ice like you suggested.
Oh my, ShadowWalker has gone down to Kraken's floor. I did not anticipate this at these levels.
Oh boy. I would not have guessed this either. Ladies and gentlemen, we're having an early Kraken fight today. If ShadowWalker fails this, he has to go get the canoe again.
Now, he's armed with Bane, but Bane is not Brack.
Yeah, he's looking for the Bane strats.
And he's got a caster of Bane. He's not at the Bane sword. That was in Volcano. So this is a major gamble for ShadowWalker.
It is. Well, we're going to get to see it early today at 36 minutes, and we're going to wait for the lobsters to cremate him first. We'll hold off on that thought. Okay. So here we are at 36 minutes, and we're going to say about 30 seconds. It is time to release the Kraken!
The most dapper of the Fiends. 1 damage.
Bane strats are being used, ineffective. Kraken hits for 147. Still Night Warrior is still standing though, pretty good. So Bane is being attempted again. And we have Poison Smoke terminated! Wow!
The gamble worked! ShadowWalker has restored the water orb.
Wow! I would never have expected that to work.
The statistics on that weren't that high, but mainly because it was a limited opportunity play. He was only going to have so many casts of Bane. I actually was about to say the play might be to try it twice and melee Kraken as much as possible, then try Quad X.
The risk reward on that was so high. you have no idea. If you've never seen this or played this, you have no idea how high the risk reward is on that. He had the canoe, the actual progression that was in that cave. That is our progression in the seed. He went down to Kraken's floor without walking it out, so he could try and avoid never having to come back there again. And he never has to go back there again. That's the reward. But the risk is if he had failed to make that kill, he would have had to go back to get that canoe once again. And that's a lot of time lost digging that thing out again just to walk it out. So the risk was high, the reward was high, and he got the reward.
ShadowWalker also made the play to spot which NPC was here, sees that it's Bahamut, and now has that information filed. By the way, Zozo Melmondo is a thing, so we're getting encounters.
It looks like our ribbon was the vendor item. I missed it on the menu, but it looks like chat caught it.
No, it couldn't be a vendor item. He was selling stuff, and that was the price of the ribbon.
I'm just reading that in chat, so I thought I read that.
The vendor item is something that's going to appear in the item list.
Yes.
So, floater can be there, key can be there, but ship can't. It doesn't appear in that one.
And
lit 3 from the Piranhas.
Yeah, the Caribs have lit 3. This is good.
A light axe is a very nice find.
Yep, Falconic getting past the trap tile, finding his light axe, so that will be a good find. The Frosties are looking a little green today.
Oh my, the Ice Dragons come out firing damage poison and gone to town.
Yeah, I don't think you can go back to that room.
No, I don't think you need a light axe that badly.
No.
ShadowWalker now has also made the play into Volcano. Gonna get some good rewards here. Gonna find that power gauntlet. But it is not gonna be loose progression on this floor. But does Shadow prioritize the Fiends? And these Peds are pretty high on their health right now. Taking care of business is going to be rewarding. And his levels are good now. 14. It's a pretty decent pace to be on.
So, ShadowWalker greeting the friendly neighborhood flock of Perilisk, and they aren't that dangerous, so he's away from there.
So we have Falconic and Ice Cave moving closer to that incentive location. To explore the rest of the world, we need either the ship or the floater to extend our travel. We could also see some type of fetch quest item that leads us to those.
And ShadowWalker going through the muck, Falconic going to the 6th chest room here. We're going to see what's in here. Some more money, some even more money, lots of money. And we'll get to you on the other two. Frost wolves look like regular wolves today.
Yeah, he's doing one of the fun percent flags, which does palette swap.
Yeah.
So enemies look like different enemies, color scheme-wise. That can lead to some very interesting combinations.
Yeah, like that wolf.
Falconic, this is a fight he's got to get away from quick, and he does.
You got it.
That was 2 users of the damage poison ability, and that is a hold your breath moment when you see that pop up. That also means, by the way, that we could see 4 of them.
We have a mummy with Blaze.
And glanced and stunned and glanced again.
Oh, that is nasty.
That is nasty. It's also advantage ShadowWalker because of the ribbon.
It is,
and
definitely. Yeah, he's got a huge advantage with that. That walk back was a good play on his part now, seeing that.
It made a difference in ways you couldn't anticipate, but you know it is an option.
So Falconic's going to make this dive again, and he's going to hope he can at least see what the incentivized item is and see if he needs to get it out for progression. Odds are he probably will, unless it's loose in the volcano.
How far does ShadowWalker go in the volcano? Gonna walk out the power gauntlet. Can't fault him for that. I stand by the same assessment I made earlier. With Melman being there, you have no item shop. So you can't replenish your heals by going through Volcano. That's one of the reasons why I like the play of going to Ice first. ShadowWalker says, there's an orb here. I need 4 of them. He gets this one, he's 50% of the way done. Question in chat, did we see the item in Ice? Falconic has not survived that far.
Yeah, we're still waiting to see ourselves. So back to the trap tile. Very light trap tile today with some just 5 enemies encountering him there. He gets away.
Taking fights is an interesting decision-making process because you never really know at any given moment how important it is to take a fight. Here we are, 45 minutes in. Falconic's levels are absolutely behind. They're significantly, if not substantially, behind at this point. And that's just because he's been running away from a lot of high-level encounters instead of finding a way to get experience. Well, I say that he's
here's his chance. Here's his chance to level up now. That's probably what he was counting on right now.
No, he's gonna want to get out of here. This is a nasty ice cave. Get away as quickly as possible, and hope for something.
There's your ship. Oh no.
Oh no. I think the fans are saying, "Oh yes."
Oh yes, for the fans especially. Oh no, for the runners.
So, we were having this brief conversation in the SRL about the seed rolling. Let me scroll up here and get Falconic's exact quote. Because when I say he asked for it, I want people to know I'm serious that he asked for it.
I want to see what this quote is myself.
Where did it go?
I did see where he said he's going to talk to a few NPCs.
Alright, he says, I'd like to request Trenton personally. I've seen what he rolls himself. I want some of that action. Well, there you go, Falcon. Your words come back to haunt you.
This may be the last time he asks you to roll.
I don't know, let's find out what the final outcome is first.
Yeah.
I always forget on this one. I think this goes to the Elfland dock. It's got to go to an inner sea dock. Provoca is actually closer, but I don't know if it actually does that.
You can get to Provoca from here. I do believe you can do that.
You can, I'm just not sure if that's where it puts the boat. There it is. Yep. It's Provoca.
Oh.
I just wasn't certain.
Yep.
There's that Quad X Falconic wished he had earlier. I don't blame him for picking it up now. So he's also got his heals replenished. Haven't really seen it. Well, there's something noteworthy. The Sun Sword is going to be the best weapon for a red mage or fighter until we get Masa. If we get Masa.
If.
I feel like ShadowWalker's levels are a little low for thinking about carry. I don't know about these Agamas as a source of experience today because they don't look that nice for killing easily.
He's moving on from the Agama area, so yeah, he's seems to be agreeing with your thinking there. We'll take the couple. Go ahead.
Yeah. There's also the Red Dragon here, so find out how easy he is before you make any big decisions.
And he'll be able to take an Agama. And he can take an Agama here if he's maybe. There's that Pro Ring, by the way, that now you have 4 of them, so enjoy.
Chat says, Shadow doesn't care about levels? You beat Kraken already. You are technically correct, that's kind of correct, but carry's not going down to bank. Well, 3 and 256, but
ShadowWalker has some good weapons. He could probably do this.
Crack, or was that when we needed it for Crack?
Crack was one you wanted.
I wonder if Falconic will route that in.
We're getting our
level 3.
We're getting our Elfland spells. We found Elfland.
Fade and Brack are fantastic finds. An excellent point from Crabcakes. There's nothing he needs up here, so if he wipes to carry, he can just leave. Although the Sun Sword was here, so need maybe poison. Not, but
he is using the Bane Sword just to see if it works. Ineffective.
Well, it's 3 256, and your thief doesn't have anything better to do.
Ink is not working on the fighters from Carry, so he's taking more damage. 281 damage to Carry. There's another 57 from the fighter, and the typical 2 from the third character. XXX is being attempted. Lit 2 doesn't do much. XXX is erased.
Yeah, I think that was a big part of the strategy is, okay, it's only going to take so many hits to take Carry down to quad X levels. But now what you can't do is go back to Melmond to revive your thief and purchase heals. If you're going to do that, you have to go all the way up to Provoca.
Yep. I can't see him doing the Ice Cave check until he does revive his thief. Once the thief is back, then yeah, Ice Cave is where he would have to go next to get his ship. That again is where the progression is at this point. He is going to go to Ice Cave. Wow.
That's a bold play. Without the thief, you're going to want to do some running. Question in chat, does Melmond even have revives? It does not. There's no clinic and there's no item shop.
We found the vendor item.
Check. Big play for Falconic right there.
That was the kind of play he needed right now. He is, with 2 orbs already though on ShadowWalker's side, Falconic is technically substantially behind based on that right now. That floater is the thing he needs to get back in this game right now.
But here's the other thing. It's going to take him a little while before he's actually going to make use of it. Because he is... Well, first of all, you want to go to the waterfall while you're here. You're also going to want to go over to Castle Ordeals while you're on the boat, because you can get there faster. Now from there, you sail north here at Elfland and you swing over to pick up your airship.
Now, you're going to notice that Falconic is not going to go to the old men over on the right side yet. The reason for that is because the Earth Cave is back to being needing to be completed before you can actually go talk to the old men to get the item from, I think it's Lucan is his name. So you can't get the item from him until you actually find that rod and get to the bottom of Earth Cave. There's a little extra incentive for the Earth Cave earlier once you find that rod.
Lucan is in the Circle of Sages, but he's not actually the sage that gives you the canoe.
Oh, that's true. That's true.
Canoe guy stands next to him.
He does, yeah.
But he will be stingy until you defeat Lich.
Exactly.
He won't give up his item until then. Nightmares are unpleasant. They're a very high evade enemy that are just annoying to deal with, always.
Yeah, I think the guy that Sage likes his bottle just a little too much. I'm gonna make that call right now.
For the bottle, right? Now, does ShadowWalker... Oh, he found the other light axe. I guess that was in Volcano. because we know one is here where he hasn't been yet.
That is right.
He hasn't run into damage poison yet. He's gonna have the ribbon, but it could still be bad.
It can hit through the ribbon sometimes, so we will see if he is unlucky.
Well, it'd be magic defense, so that's...
Hey! Got a bounce back!
That's a lot of whiz mummies. And there it fires off. They are not high on their HP. Is Shadow going to actually take that step? He is. I wondered if he would do that, because now you're going to have to take that fight again. And if you get two of them there, ambushing you, that's going to be rough.
Yeah, this could be a difficult trip out. We'll find out.
It didn't do enough damage that he's worried about wiping.
Well, there goes my prediction.
You have the bottle from the robot. What's he doing with the bottle? I don't know. I guess that's where he stored his oil or something.
And looks like he reset and got out apparently.
No, he picked up exit. Exit.
Oh, he does says it. Okay,
Yeah.
I didn't see him using exit. I thought he reset.
There's no way he reset it for a while.
Yeah, I don't see it either.
So the other big thing is, hopefully Falconic remembers to go over to Ordeals while it's handy. Because it will definitely be slower to go down and get the airship than it is to sail up now.
Well, ShadowWalker continuing his two-man tour of the Ice Cave. Jack is just being dragged along.
Well, the thing about bringing two men, and I did this as much as anybody in the Swiss round of the tournament, is you're funneling more experience into those two characters and theoretically getting them to a higher level and more durable. So you look at this, you get a red mage with 300 HP. Well, that's why his red mage survived damage poison, whereas Falconic had a character die to it.
Indeed.
Falconic did route in the Ordeals check.
Good. So we're going to get another incentive item right here at the end of this entire journey, and Falconic talks to the old man at the front who often gets neglected. And time to solve the maze.
These pillars are shuffled, the pattern through will be random, but that's good to have the 4 pillars up front, because that's the most chances to miss out and have something take you really far back. So getting it out of the way and being able to have everything else be 50-50 definitely speed up 40. Chat rooting for Floater, which is a little weird because it's been right.
Yeah, we found Floater already.
Yeah, right now we're probably looking at a fetch quest item being here. That is a lot of wisdom. Or no, those are the regular mummies ones.
Those are regular mummies, and those are the ones that have blaze, and that is deadly.
Oh no! ShadowWalker!
Uh-oh.
Went the wrong direction! And went right back down the warp without getting the item!
And he's being paid with a stone.
And apparently doesn't have soft potions, so can't bring back the fighter!
Ah.
That was unfortunate.
He would have died anyway, but he doesn't have the information that that's the ship. Not that it matters, he's gonna go get it anyway, obviously. But, he would, based on that, he wouldn't have gotten out anyway, even with the ship. So, he was doing this again anyway, but that's still a mistake you don't want to make.
Chat says he did use a soft potion early, but...
And he is stoned again, and he is... I thought he was gonna leave, but he's going back in.
No, he has to. There's no other progress. He's done everything else.
Yeah.
He full cleared sea, he full cleared marsh. There is nowhere else for progression to be.
What he could do is bring the thief back just so he has the third character available, but that would be the trip up to Provoca. That's the thing that he could do, and then stock up on some potions up there. That's pretty much all he can do. He has to do this, like you said.
Chat points out the he could go buy soft potions. He'd have to walk all the way back to Corneria to do that.
Those are in Corneria. Yeah.
It'll always be in Corneria because the two things guaranteed there are soft potions and pure potions. What's not guaranteed to be there, but happens to be in Castle Ordeals, is the Masamune for Falconic, who's suddenly feeling a lot better about the scene.
Wow. He also picked up an old ragged cloth. I'm not sure that's going to make you feel better.
No, the Flame Sword's another good find, and the
We have a slab.
So yep, fetch quest item. We've not seen Lefane yet, so it'll be airship lock. But he's got the floater, so he's able to get that.
Now, we did see Bahamut at Melbourne earlier. You said that he did check the Elf Castle. Who was at the Elf Castle?
I thought that was the elf maid, but I'm bad at telling that from I said maid, nurse. But I'm bad at telling those two from first glance because they're fairly similar. And when their palettes change, it's a little hard to tell. But if it was the elf, then the Dr. Un will be at Bahamut's cave.
Yeah, that could be why Falcon's going straight for the airship. Not to mention it's going to make things a lot faster. But if he goes straight to the Cardia Islands, that might be what's on his mind.
59 minutes in, Falconic is the first runner to be airborne. ShadowWalker still has a pretty significant path in front of him to get airborne. Has to get the ship here, has to walk up to the Oasis.
Oh, there's your access to the Crescent Lake item.
Vanilla Rod. Does Falconic do that? You're in the area. Presumably you have the heal potions.
Nope.
And he's got the mage staff.
Nope, he's going to the Cardia Islands. Like I thought, maybe he knows he has to go up here for the slab.
Well, the other thing is you know you're looking for at least one this time. At least one. Because Ribbon could still be in the pool, so yes, it could be 3. At least one. He also gets a chance to translate the slab and maybe move up his key item count to where he's getting bonus experience. Plus, if you happen to find a loose item here in the islands, then you don't need to search the long, sprawled out Earth Cave, and you can do it substantially faster.
A slab! So there you go. The slab is now translated. Lefane is available for Falconic. He may, I don't think he can do anything there yet. So that's not an immediate stop, but as soon as he gets that chime, he may be heading up there.
No, he can do that with the slab.
Oh, sorry, the slab.
Gives him the
Sorry,
item.
get the item. Yeah, sorry. Chime for the for Mirage Towers, what I meant. But yeah, the slab would give him the item. Yes.
This time, ShadowWalker gets in to fight the Eye. This time, he gets the ship.
Now, will he get out? Let's
He's
find
in good
out.
shape too. I like the kill it strats because dead things don't attack you.
2
The
down.
white shirt's a good find for Falconic. 3 casts of Invis 2, and something good for that thief to do in boss fights.
That's an excellent find. The white shirt definitely helps with the Temple of Fiends Revisited trip, especially when you come to the Fiend fights later on. Just free invisibility for days.
Gaia turns out to be Gaia, so get a bottle.
A lot of vanilla locations today in the towns.
Well, I mean, that's the way it goes, but the cosmic scales have to balance for worst early sea shrine.
They have to, yeah.
It's like, the universe can only give the runners so much.
And Falcao talking to the lowly pirate over there, who, again, often neglected. One of the NPCs he decided to talk to. And the bottle has been released, and we get a ruby. Are we gonna go crunch crunch today?
I think you have to, because if you're flying around to check the chests, you'd work in those 4 at least before you go checking Earth Cave, for example. The other thing I imagine he's going to is go down here to Vanilla Lafane, get the item, because you don't want to have to come back here.
I think we still have 2 loose items, if I'm not mistaken. We have the canoe that we did find in the Sea Shrine. That was our progression to unlock the world at that point, or at least another part of the world, rather. So we still have 2 items we need to find. I think after agree with you, I wouldn't put off the ruby. I'd check out the Titan's Cave quickly.
One of those could be the ribbon, though, so it's not necessarily...
It could be, yeah. It still could be. We won't know.
Required third find.
Ooh, Brack is... Yeah, somebody is stoned on Falconic's side. Fighter is stoned.
That's not huge right now. You can do overworld saves to avoid all enemies. You can just get the experience on the 2 right now. Isn't that bad? Actually, was that the thief instead of the fighter?
It looked like the fighter to me, I think. I could be mistaken.
I have trouble with these sprite.
Yeah, I'm trying to read the sprite myself instead of look at the colors. It is a little challenging. But yeah, I think Hawk is the thief, so I believe that is the fighter who is stoned.
That was the thief in the top slot. He was trying to ban him. That makes sense. Oh yeah, the Masumun's on that character. That's absolutely the fighter.
Yeah.
Alright, ShadowWalker got out with the ship. He's now got the chance to explore the world. The good news for him, there's not a lot of options that it can be at. So he's going to get up to the Onrak area. The only question would then be, does he go to Ordeals first? Which, even that won't really hurt. At this point, it's kind of a linear path. You're really not going to be able to get away without getting the floater. You're going to have to go to that vendor check, because there's just not a lot of access elsewhere.
Well, we've lost Hawk, and Falconic eventually did a wipe there, so he's going to make that trip to the airship once again. I'm looking at the ShadowWalker's play right now, and I'm thinking he must be concerned, given that he just got to Alpha now and just got his ship out recently. He must be getting concerned that he feels like he's a little bit behind right now. But it's kind of interesting looking at how Falconic has the exploration advantage. Yes, he does. He's seen a lot more places than ShadowWalker has. But Falconic also has to go back to the Sea Shrine and take out Kraken later. He has to go back to the volcano and check those and take out Carrie later. So in the end, that's going to give ShadowWalker the time to catch up on the exploration, and that may be... this could still be a close race coming down to Temple of Fiends Revisited.
Generally speaking, those are going to be pretty quick checks, but yeah, just to walk through sea to Kraken, even Go mode, 3 to 4 minute range.
Indeed, it takes
the
several
encounters
minutes.
are nice. He's got to do Volcano, which is pretty quick, and will likely do that in Go mode. Really, the only thing that could go wrong for ShadowWalker is if he had gone to Earth Cave. That's the only thing that could really take him in the wrong direction. And that is the incentive ribbon. So, yep, we're looking for 3 loose.
Yep, there's 2 more loose items here. So that's Falconic is turning the admin, getting his ribbon. I don't think he has TNT yet, so we can't visit that dwarf yet. So we're going to say, hooray! Nope, he didn't talk to him this time.
Well, he did already talk to a Hooray.
Yeah,
so.
he did.
He has the rod, is to play to Earth Cave. Well, Ruby first, I like that.
So we're gonna go inside and crunch, crunch, crunch. So sweet.
Here's the thing, we don't have the chime, so we can't get into Mirage. That's not an option right now.
Nope. Earth
So
Cave
it
is the
looks
play.
like the answer is Earth Cave. Defense Sword is a very welcome sight. You won't equip it, but you still get to use it for the casts of Brutus. Another play you could make would be leave these lower floors of Earth Cave, come back to him after you kill it. Just for something different in a potential time save.
Well, I think he's going to check the items first and reset after each one if he doesn't like it. That Dragon Armor I think he does like. I think he will take that. No, he's resetting.
No, it's just money if you're not class changing. It's obviously the best armor for a knight, but in this seed it's just lunch money, so
yeah,
you don't need money anymore.
It looked like he was thinking about it for a second and then reset, so yeah, he doesn't need that.
Well, you just get mentally set to, hey, this is great, it's the best armor in the game. Oh, wait.
Oh, right, yeah. ShadowWalker now going to go get his bottle from the waterfall robot.
And this should leave him in the position of saying, oh, it's got to be the Oasis for the vendor item. Not knowing what that item is, because it could be the Mystic Key, it could be a fetch quest item. We just have to know it's the floater.
I can tell you the one item the runners do not want to find at any stage late in the game is the Mystic Key. They prefer that to be the last item they find, because you have to have that to get the Temple of Fiends revisited. You can't finish without the Mystic Key. But if you're looking for one last item, and the Mystic Key is that last item before you get to that one last item, as we see out of Bounce Bat once again on ShadowWalker's side, that just opens up a lot of places you're going to have to fly around one by one, clean out to verify that the item you need is not there. There's the bottle.
Yeah, I mean, as we're looking at Falconic's situation, yes, we could find a loose item. As far as the incentive items go, if we don't find a loose, then he's got to find some path to the chime. It could be the chime directly, or it could be TNT that turns into the chime. And here goes ShadowWalker going for the Oasis.
And he will happily buy his floater and wonder why he couldn't get that sooner.
Falconic was airborne at 59 minutes, so this is going to turn out to be about a 12-minute gap by the time ShadowWalker walks back, sails back, and actually picks up the airship.
And once he gets the rod from Sarada, I have a feeling he might just take Earth Cave off the table right away, too.
It's possible. I think similar logic to Falconic, you want to get your fetch quest items done and figure out where you stand, what you're
True.
That Masamune is paying off for Falconic. It really lets you clear out a lot of things at lower levels than... I should say it speeds things up. He could kill those Earths without it, but he's able to do it that much faster because of Masamune. And no matter how much you believe in Vorpal, when you can't equip it, it's hard for it to save the day.
Yeah, no Vorpal will help you if you can't use it.
And the Brax take out Falconic in Earth. If that feels bad.
That would feel bad.
I had forgotten that ShadowWalker had not done Ordeals yet. I actually thought he'd done it first in my head, so it's going to be a little bit more of a gap before he's airborne. But this Earth Cave is giving him a chance to make up some time. Falconic has to remember his routing because he's already been down there and doesn't need the treasures out of there.
Wow, we have found wizard mummies. We know they're horrible. He gets away without any attacks. Oh, there's another big batch of them. And we're gonna see... Nope.
There's a loose ribbon.
That's our third ribbon.
Yeah. We found one loose in Marsh, one is the incentive from the Adamant, and loose one in Ice Cave. So with 3 party members, you've got one for each.
Now, Falconic, I don't think, did Marsh at all, so he's not going to find that third ribbon unless he goes back, but unless there's an incentive item in the chest that we need.
Required.
Yeah, at this point, I think it has to be required.
Question in chat, what are the chances of Falconic trying to kill Lich while he's in Earth Cave? 100%.
Yeah, I'll agree with that.
There's literally no other reason to be here.
Like, some runners will check the first floor and leave if they're just looking for an item, especially if they don't have the rod yet, but once you have the rod, if you come in here, you're finishing it.
Yeah, this is also to get the Crescent Lake incentive item. You have to clear Earth.
Exactly, you have to do this now.
Now ShadowWalker has his mouse, which is going to be able to clear out a lot of these single target encounters that much faster.
Accidentally tries to heal Jack.
This is a very good illustration of why runners hate to explore Earth Cave, and it's one of the very preferred to-go mode dungeons. I mean, this Earth Cave has clearly demonstrated the point as much as any Earth Cave could. The bats have been getting in the way, you're having to walk around all these out-of-the-way locations for their treasures. They're not paying off. Well, he did get a ribbon, so that's not bad.
The way this Earth Cave is working over Falconic, I would actually not be surprised to see the bat get in the way on the way to our speed bump. These are just blocking him today. Merciless. Wow.
That was a horrible pattern on that bat. The one thing I would say is when you've got a bat in your way, you want to stand diagonal to it. The reason for that is you want to open up every possible path for that bat to go to get out of your way instead of further in your way. So again, it was approximately the 59-minute mark that Falconic got his airship. ShadowWalker is now on a rendezvous with the desert to use his floater and get his airship. This is going to be 15 minutes. 15 minutes.
Meanwhile, Falconic took out something.
Oh, I didn't see it. I blinked.
Yeah. I don't think it was important. He just got a cabin behind whatever that something was.
Not much value, so here is the most dense treasure room that Earth Cave has to offer. What treasures does it have to offer?
So far, I'd say the word treasure is a term that I would not use.
Well, you know, one person's trash, another person's treasure. They thought it was treasure, but they live in Earth Cave. What do they know about taste?
Yeah, a lot, just money and wood and stuff. ShadowWalker, meanwhile, getting his delicious, delicious ruby.
Now, there's a potential he could skip that, but I just don't see it happening. And if he did, that was where the defense sword was. So I like to note little things like that just because they're a potential advantage to the runner. But to me, the chances of ShadowWalker not checking those 4 chests are extremely low, especially once you have the information that you need.
Oh, Falconic is sunlocked.
Remember when I said that this is the Earth Cave showing exactly why runners don't
Yeah,
Earth Cave?
Exactly. This is what you get for not letting the third member of the party be unstoned.
Well, Trance was gonna stun him too.
Yeah. But more chance to be able to move in any case.
When Squint is actually a relief because they're not stunning you again. He cannot get this party recovered.
This is the equivalent of a coffee break right now for him. He really can't do anything. And there's the blaze.
That's really a welcome sight right now.
Oh, and Hawk is able to move again, so let's see how long.
AoE. No AoE to be able to clear out this fight. Honestly, This sounds horrible. The play to make might have been to drink heal potions to the red mage. You really need this red mage to survive, but if it's able to thin the numbers out, that'll work in the end.
Yeah, he's hoping he can thin the numbers out at this point. Gaze attempted, nope.
This is just rough, because if he keeps taking the blazes...
He's stunned again. 3 blazes.
He can only survive 1 more blaze.
Hawk was unstunned for a moment, but he's back on the on permanent knees. And Hawk is standing again.
There just wasn't a lot he could do here.
Wynn got squinted.
If Hawk... he can get... That was through a ribbon, by the way.
Yeah, that was through a ribbon.
But,
2 left.
Yeah, they've had a lot of chances to do that. Okay. If he can get out of this, he's okay. Not great, but okay. He needs to move the mage staff.
Those Spectres have no excuse to not win that fight, so Falconic is extremely lucky to get out of that one.
You know, he got horrific RNG with the Translot.
Oh, we have our Tyro.
Oh, and he had a soft potion, so he brings up the Thief now. I dare say, veteran move on Falconic's part. Now, the biggest thing is, want to see him move that mage staff.
Bringing the Thief up is a really good idea at this point. That should help with, I believe, with ambush, help with the ambushes, I guess you could say, in that sense. And we got our Herb from Lufane, by the way.
Yeah, ShadowWalker is now able to cover all that fetch quest ground that Falconic did earlier, so... Like I said, it's a fairly linear path in this one. Again, it's going to take him to this Earth Cave because there's just no other dungeons to go into. Falconic technically still has Marshy to check other than Keylock. ShadowWalker already did that.
ShadowWalker is going to wipe out the enemies in the water, or just wipe out none of them, I guess.
And Falconic could also go after the treasures he left behind Sea Shrine, but I don't imagine him making the play. I think you're trying to cover as much new ground as you can, so go to the incentive locations, because you know you need all of them. That is the biggest piece of information Falconic has right now. ShadowWalker still needs it after turning in the adamant. As far as finishing off this dungeon, though, Falconic could do this with just the knight. He's just got to get there.
Yeah,
so,
that's
no more translocks. All he's got to do is get there, and he should be fine to get through Lich.
ShadowWalker is on his fetch quest central right now, so he has turned in his herb, and he has acquired his adamant. So hooray! Back to Dwarf Cave for him.
And that's going to be critical. It'll be ribbon number 2, which is significant. He might end up with all 3 ribbons. But the other thing it's going to do is give him the information that you're looking for a 3rd loose item.
And now he's going to get his rod.
That puts Earth Cave on the table. How long does it take ShadowWalker to actually get there? Again, he doesn't have access to any other dungeons, so it's not going to be too long.
I'll say in about 15 seconds. Okay, a little longer. You can't feed the Titan.
Ruby, and I think you also want to turn the adamant first.
Well, I think he knows he can clear Earth Cave now, so why not?
Usually it's just a question of finding out what you need. Plus bonus experience, potentially. Alright, Falconic has cleared out Earth Cave, he's got orb number 1, and now he needs to go back to Crescent Lake and get the item. Which, at this point, probably is going to be TNT, would be my guess, turning into Chime.
Yeah, TNT would be a good guess, because you have to have a fetch quest for the TNT. It likely won't lock itself.
Well,
so
Key is actually
TNT,
a fetch quest too, so I'd say 50-50.
The key is.
Your key.
The key is. The loot, I think, is still large as well as the cube, so either of those could be here as well.
Well, no. It can't be because we have to have access. So it would be blocked. We'd be soft locked if it's one of those.
Okay.
So it has to be something that gives us access to something else. So Chime is possible, Key is possible, and TNT is possible.
And the old men apparently are on their meds today. There's your TNT.
Yeah. That gives us the fetch quest option, which is the most likely scenario because these things had to place out there somehow. This is why I've been such a proponent in this tournament of follow the logic that the seed is telling you. I mean, when it gives you the Oxyale, I called it back then that it was telling you were going to have to go early Sea Shrine, and lo and behold, it did.
Yeah, when something like that shows up early, it just screams at you about that location. It's very unusual when you get an item like that early and that location doesn't pan out to something early.
So I'm pretty sure this will be the key.
Good call.
The reason being is that opens up the incentive location at Marsh Cave. So now Falconic's going to be able to go there, and again, when you're looking at most likely scenarios, Chime. Open up another dungeon with a lot more treasure chests, but he's also got these key-locked locations to check.
He does. I don't think he has the crown yet, so I think Astros is still standing, is he not?
You make an excellent point, sir. So, almost certainly, then the Marsh Cave item will be the crown.
I think it might be, yeah.
But it makes perfect sense to go after it either way. It's either crown or Chime. There's not really... Well, there are other options, just not many.
We still have 2 loose, so any of these could be a loose item as well.
Yeah, Falconic still has to check the treasures here that he did earlier. And it's a tough call to leave any of this behind when you know you need those loose items.
As much as I want to see the loot be the item here, the fact that we can't get to Mirage Tower yet, and we know that 3 dungeons can already be cleared. In fact, the different runners have already cleared all 3 of those dungeons between them. So, my thinking is that this probably has to be the Chime at this point, I would imagine.
I think it's Crown 2 Chime.
It could be Crown 2 Chime, but either way, we're going to get the Chime out of this.
We have key-locked locations, so there's still technically the ability to find stuff in those.
Yeah.
It would actually really narrow down where everything has to be if this was the Chime.
I am thinking the crown is probably loose in Sky Palace somewhere, and that crown could lead to the loot. Because we do have 2 loose items.
House in the Wizard Chest.
I think we saw that on ShadowWalker side earlier, actually. So, but these we did not see. And there's a trap tile up there that Falconic avoided to get that gold. So the next 2 you have to see the trap tile.
4 rooms locked by the Mystic Key. 1 is just a wah-wah. Nothing in it. Why they did that, who knows.
One of those rooms is not like the others.
Shadow was like, I don't care what's in here, it's not a... Oh, wait, what? Drop the Zeus Gauntlet. That's an interesting play.
That is.
It doesn't have a ton of value at this stage of the game.
Yeah, he already cleared Sea Shrine. He needs a Zeus Gauntlet.
You still have Sea Floor.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, that's why I was surprised you didn't keep it.
Plus you can spread out the AoEs.
Alright, here's our incentive chest. What do we have? There's your Chime.
You called it!
I called that one, so
Now, you're still going to want to check the other key locked. But
Yep.
that
You
starts narrowing down the possible combinations, and that's better for our runners actually than if it had to shine.
the reason I felt that it did have one of the actual progression items was because, again, there's 2 loose items. And we know that those items that can lead to those other progression items can be in those chests. So I think the crown is actually going to be one of our loose items. And I honestly think it's going to be locking the loot. So Astril's going to be like an afterthought at that point.
Well, the thing is, we also have to get the cube. So we're not going to be able to get to Sky Castle until we find the cube.
I just thought of an even worse chain. Oh my. Crown in the greater than less than room, leading to cube. And the
leading to crown, leading to cube.
And the loot is loose in Sky Palace.
Falconic just saw Ribbon number 3. And much like Shadow, he's like, yeah, I think I do want that.
Keeping his Zeus Gauntlet, though.
Well, the bad news for Falconic is he's covering some of this ground that ShadowWalker did, which is offering Shadow the chance to make up time. Shadow's also having a much easier time with this Earth Cave than Falconic did, which is another way to make up time. The good news, respectively, for each of these runners, Shadow having that easier time in the Earth Cave, Falconic had a much easier time in the Marsh Cave.
So here we are on to the 4 chests up in the Elfland Castle Armory. What do we have here? A cabin, flame armor, opal shield, and a heal potion. The armor will not be needed.
I was curious if Falconic would go ahead and route in killing Kraken while he was right there. It would have been a very good time to do it, instead of coming back later.
It's been so long, he might not even be thinking about that right now.
I don't think he is. I think he's thinking just, okay, where's my go mode? There is one chest in that sea shrine we did not see yet. Oh, by the way. That's one chest.
Would the seed be evil enough to put 2 key items in Sea Shrine?
Oh, yes. Yes, this seed would be evil enough to do that.
It seems like it. It seems like it to me. With the early Sea Shrine, why not? If that chest has something, we need to dub that the Forgotten Chest.
It already has a nickname, but it's not suitable for broadcast purposes.
That's enough to say.
So it looks like Falconic is going to hit all these key-locked chests, make sure he knows where he's at before going to Mirage Tower. I like it because if one of these is the cube, you really don't want to have to come back.
Yep, we have no idea what's in here yet because ShadowWalker, of course, does not have that key yet, so he can't get in here. So we're going to find out momentarily whether this is the right move. Well, no question it's the right move, but...
Falconic still has those treasures in Sea Shrine he did not get to yet. So as he goes to Mirage, he's still played with a little bit of fire to do that.
Now we know, with the exception of the one item that we don't know, that he is otherwise making a correct play here. But the question is, will a chain like what I suggested manifest itself, or will he be leaving something behind in that one chest? There is the crystal, so Matoya is still open.
So because that one doesn't have its own sprite on the tracker, it caused me to forget that that was an option.
I didn't think it would either, to be honest.
So now I'd say it's almost certainly going to be Crystal to Crown to Cube. Because once we have the Cube, we have access to everything except Temple of Fiends Revisit.
Yeah, like you, I forgot about the crystal too, so that's why I thought the crown was probably locked in here, but with the crystal now being one of the loose items, we know there is still one loose item. The question is what that will be. As ShadowWalker goes to join the party of the sages. The Fire Fiend will burn everything up!
Yeah, I always thought it was a jerk move that they tell you to come back and talk to him again frequently. Well, I did that as a kid. It never changed until you got all 4 orbs restored.
Yeah, I actually noticed that myself when I was playing as a kid, and then one day I went back, because I used to just play the game repeatedly just to keep taking down the Temple of Fiends Revisited, just to keep doing that as a kid, to say, yeah, take that, you dumb little dragon. And I just kept doing it. But one day I went to the Circle of Sages and realized, oh yeah, they actually change your text after you get all the orbs. Actually cool.
Yeah, only 2 of them say anything useful, but they do change. And actually, the sage in Canaria will change his dialogue.
Yeah, I've seen that too.
So there was a question in chat about the tracker and the items. To be clear, all items are on the tracker. It's just some of them are from the logic of NPCs not having shuffled items. So, for example, there was no way in ye olden days to get the key if you didn't already have the herb. So it had that locked progression of the tracker. So we could just generally go with what the highest item of the chain is, and key certainly would qualify. We did find the crystal turns into the crown, so let's go pay Astos.
And we're gonna probably get our loot here, I would say.
I can only figure Falconic was thinking about going to see the key lock, but...
Disregard what I just said. We're gonna get our, I think we still need the cube. We're gonna get our cube here, because the loot has to be loose, I think. The loot has to be loose. Unless the crown is loose in the Mirage Tower, that's the only way the cube could be loose right now. It can't be in Sky Palace.
Well, Falconic did Mirage, so
ShadowWalker
there was literally only 2 places that the cube...
Exactly. Exactly. ShadowWalker is checking Marsh again now. He's checking that incentive item.
Question about how the party members are being indicated on screen. So, as far as this round of the tournament goes, Fighter is forced, Black Mage is banned. The second character is going to be forced by the seed that we roll. So both runners will have the same forced second party member. They just don't know what it is until after the seed is rolled. And then they can choose the other 2 party members. In this case, by runner agreement, they did none. And so that's why you have the empty space there. Well, apparently, I was wrong, and Falconic did check greater than less than, so... I would have checked that before going to the crystal, but...
I didn't think I saw him
checking it. And I'm not.
Yeah, I didn't think I saw him checking it, so, I didn't want to correct you because I didn't see it myself, so... Yeah, he is going to check it right now, it looks like.
It looks like he is going back to 2-man for now, which this is a great source of experience, completing
this.
Sky and with those 2. 17, he definitely wants to get to 24, but higher than that would not be out of the question.
Age of Shield, a 10, it's a soft potion. There's a black shirt, he's going to want that. And that was a house
he's going to pass on the black shirt. Well,
nope, he took it.
But you got the ice spells, so...
And ShadowWalker obtains his chime, exits.
Chad asks if we've seen Keylock Temple of Fiends. Yes, we have. The only Keylock we've not seen is Sea Shrine. Boy, if the loot ends up being there, that would be something.
I didn't even realize there was a Keylock chest in Sea Shrine.
There it is, the loot. That's fantastic because he's going to be able to go mode the other floors. Yeah, and he's got Power Gauntlet, Masa, and Defense. There's nothing to look. This is total go mode.
Looks like he picked up the cube too. So yeah, he's in go mode.
The cube came out of the crown.
Ah, yes.
Yeah, this will be total go mode for Falconic. It's going to be at 137 in. Again, it's a pretty linear seed, so I don't... ShadowWalker is not going to miss these things, and he's not going to wander off to a particularly different path. Right now, the biggest advantage ShadowWalker has is already having restored 2 of those, well, 3 of the orbs.
Yeah, that trip to get Kraken early is going to turn out huge for him in this seed, because all he has to do is get the path to the top of the Sky Palace. If he can get that before Falconic, and get to time map before Falconic gets his 4th orb lit, we're going to have a barn burner of Temple Fiends Revisited. It's going to be a matter of how quickly can Falconic go mode all of these 3 remaining places. That's going to be what it really comes down to.
Those wyverns were not cooperative for Falconic. He couldn't hit them, their evade was too high. He was having all kinds of trouble running away. Test the waters with the blue dragon. I love that play.
ShadowWalker is
High
going to
evade.
eventually... ShadowWalker is eventually going to get greater than less than him. He is doing Mirage Tower. He's not at the crystal yet. He's just getting it now. And then we're going to eventually find that last item, the loot, in greater than less than room. So there you go. 2 key items inside Mirage Tower today.
As Falconic was hoping that was an easy blue dragon, because he needs to get levels on these 2-man. Doesn't necessarily need it for this dungeon, but he needs it in general. And that could have been a great source of 5 levels.
Yeah, it would have been good for Topher, especially. So, we have something that we need you to do, chat, because we're coming up to the 4th floor, which means we're going to near the Bridge of Destiny. Not only get your remotes to chat, but give us something for the robot to say if we do happen to see the robot chicken today.
ShadowWalker is going to save himself a little bit of trouble by coming here and finding the loot on the 2nd. Level 19 now for Falconic. The random encounters here are a really good experience. So
They are.
there's a lot from just doing, like, he should be hitting that sentry. If you can one-shot it with the Masa, then it's just free experience and you need all of it you can get.
Okay, we are on the Bridge of Destiny, and we have these silver Hydras. They're actually red Hydras, but they look silver today. And we're going to clear those out. He's taking the fights.
Ice spells for days, this is fantastic. They're usually pushovers and good experience. It's a great combination.
And we have a... Naocho, man.
Yeah, again, good experience and usually not a lot of hit points.
And some very weird looking slimes.
And they're not as good, but we got Fade.
Now ShadowWalker has not
Delicious.
ShadowWalker has not picked up his cube from Astos yet, but he is going to get his loot. That will give him his 3rd and 7th chest, and he will effectively be in a semi-sword-to-go mode. No war mech yet, so we'll retain those potential quotes for ShadowWalker Clients 1.
Has Armed with Brack for Tiamat, which has a chance to one-shot kill. Gotta use the fast on Masa to raise the attack power of this fighter. His levels are a little shy for having 2-man here because he go-loaded.
That was a weak time at.
Well, it is only Tiamat 1.
Wow. That was paper. So there's the crown for ShadowWalker.
Yeah, I think what Falconic will do is go mode the other 2 dungeons with this 2-man party, so he'll get experience, and the good news is he should get 24 between doing these dungeons as long as he kills stuff along the way. The bad news is if you're 2-manning, your goal is higher than that. You want to be able to survive a more difficult Temple of Fiends, whereas this is kind of just going to get him to the minimum.
So it didn't pan out exactly the way I suggested it could in the most evil circumstance, but the fact that we had to get the first item, the crystal, out of Mirage Tower, and had to go get the crown from Atoya to go get the cube from Astos means that was a required double dip Mirage Tower in today's seed. You could not get out without going there twice today.
Should I repeat Falconic's quote from earlier? Nah, people can catch it on the bot. Yeah, chat says that ShadowWalker is not that far behind. He's absolutely not.
I'd say he's ahead.
I don't know about ahead because, well, it will be interesting to see. They've traded some advantages here and there. I don't know that ShadowWalker has the levels.
He may not have the levels. He's going to have
that.
to make the decision whether he does. Let's watch for a level up here. If we get a level up here, we might get to see, but he is taking fights.
Those Agamas have over 480 HP.
Oh, wow.
I would not be trying to do an Agama.
Okay, Jack just hit level 19 for ShadowWalker, so that's where he is right now. He might be a couple levels shy. He is going to probably take some fights on the way up. Did you see what Falconic's levels are?
Well, he's dropped to the 1-man. I believe he's at 21 right now.
Okay.
I don't like this play because these Agamas are not being one-shot.
At this point, I would say Falconic has to move on at this point. Just seeing where ShadowWalker is right now, how he's 1 dungeon left. Falconic has 2 to clear. So from the perspective of where we are in the commentary position, we can see that Falconic needs to move on. He is moving on, so he is going down to carry right now.
I didn't mind the play terribly conceptually, because, again, you want 24, and the quicker you get it, the better. But that was a minute or 2 spent that just didn't really pay off in a lot of value because you couldn't one-shot the Agamas.
Right.
But he will absolutely have 24 after the Sea Shrine. There's no question of that.
So we're coming to the 3rd floor now of Sky Palace. So ShadowWalker is next to the stair for the 4th floor, getting Blaze from the... I think that was the main cast that had Blaze.
3 ribbons, you're not as worried about it, but if it's something that is in large numbers and you can spam it, that is still problematic. Because that chip damage does add up.
It does. Try and fade
more and Ted... Well, 2 more and Ted would have gone down.
Fade took out most of the enemies. The Bane Sword did not do anything. Carry is being fought on Falconic's side right now, so he is 1-manning it right now. 249 damage. Hawk hitting Carry for another 560, and that is termination. So get your Warback emotes out once again, as we're about to hit the Bridge of Destiny once again.
I think that was actually intentional on Falconic's part. I think he might have actually been doing those Agamas not for the grind, but to drop the red mage, so that he would be putting all the experience on the one fighter. I don't think that's the play for Kraken, but he saw a way to get some cheap extra experience onto the fighter.
Yeah, that may be the case. ShadowWalker is taking this man-cat fight as well, so he is gaining the experience along the way. He does want the experience. Blaze is hitting for some damage here. Not a lot of damage yet, but again, as you said, it does add up. And that was another quick encounter. I think he will take this again.
Well, he doesn't have a choice. They're unrunnable.
Oh, they are unrunnable. That would be a good reason to take it again. And this time, Fade hits very quickly, so that's, again, some good experience for doing that.
Yeah, that's a lot of time spent in these encounters. Both of these runners have had different places in this seed. Hold them up. That's what kind of makes this interesting to see in what direction it's going to go. And, hi, Warbeck!
You again?
Is this a runnable Warbeck, or is this Shadow... Yeah, ShadowWalker is looking for the experience. Warbeck is worth a bunch.
This is actually a very good find for him, because he, like he's mentioned, he might want that experience, so this will put his experience problems at ease if he can kill this.
Good chance he gets 2 levels. 2! Oh my, if another big AoE comes out, this could wipe him. This could be a big moment here. Gonna swing the sword. If he gets that Mass Immune off, it's probably enough. It is.
That's it. Wow. Well, we know 1 nuke is off the table for Temple of Fiends Revisited.
The drama there was high.
That was
ShadowWalker, I would dare say, didn't really respect the Warmech, was building up for the big hit, and then out came Nuke, one more AoE, and it didn't have to be after. If it had been, say, a Blaze or a Thunder before the Nuke, that could have wiped his party out easily.
Yeah, that was the race right there. I'm going to say that was the race right there. If that wiped him, Falconic is on his way to his 4th orb, and this would have given him a significant edge at this point. Because ShadowWalker's been doing a lot of fighting inside this Mirage Tower Sky Palace. He would have been lost all those levels and had to catch up again. So that was the entire race right there, I think.
This is just really close. At this point, it's looking like Shadow is going to be the first into Topher.
But Falconic is coming down to Kraken's floor. This could be sync Fiend fights, depending how quick this, depending how long it takes to get up this bridge, and if we see another Warmech.
The thing I like on Falconic's side is the levels of 9. Shadow's not quite there yet. Shadow will hit that without question before the Fiends where you really want it. Kraken 2 is where you really want it. Actually, I'm being corrected that Shadow is at 24, so I missed the level up. Warmech.
Yeah, Warmech gave us some levels. Warmech gives some levels. So, okay, not sync Fiend fights. ShadowWalker did get to time at first. Falconic still has a little bit of a walk to get to the Kraken. So, ShadowWalker tries Brack on Kraken, doesn't work. Defense sword is used by Dave. Bane sword is now being attempted. Brack is being used again. Time at try and sleep. That's not going to work very well with the ribbons and the pro rings. Brack is being attempted again, and nope, no breaking in pieces yet. Bane sword strat's still being used. Brack's still being used. He's trying to do this. Trying to take it out quickly while raising the knight so he can. Oh, the Brack worked. The knight didn't have to swing.
It's a very high percentage play when you're able to spam the attempts. Mm-hmm. So it's a very worthy strategy, especially when you have 2 people do it. So now Shadow is in great position to be the first one in the Temple of Fiends Revisited. Falconic has a little bit further to go. They're going to be going in similar levels, identical.
Almost the same time, yeah. Because ShadowWalker's doing his shopping trip right now. Then he's going to be off, and Falconic might do a shopping trip himself. Falconic, by the way, fighting the Kraken using the Zeus Gauntlet, which he still has. Axel is destroyed. So we're down to 2 men. Ink is used, no dice. Defense Sword is used again for Hawk. Doesn't need to do anything because we got enough damage there for the kill.
Brack does all you need. So Falconic is through. And ShadowWalker, the first into Temple of Fiends Revisited, 1 hour 50 minutes. And this is especially noteworthy because it was a 16-minute gap to get the airship, which is usually a pretty good indication of where
that is a big.
It was off by a little bit in this case because ShadowWalker killed Kraken early, and Falconic had to go back and do that. So even if you shave about 3 minutes off for that Kraken kill, that's still a lot of time ShadowWalker will make up.
Yeah, normally that airship would be a good indicator, but because he did make that trip to get the 2 Fiends early, that's time that Falconic had to then go back and get those Fiends. And yes, as you said, it does add up, but in the end, Falconic did have to check all those chests in the volcano, just like ShadowWalker did. He didn't have to check. He already checked everything in the Sea Shrine because he had to get the canoe earlier. So there was not really. There was a few chests he didn't check. A few chests he didn't check. Agreed. But in the end, it turned out that the runners just came right back to the same place at the same time, which is what I suggested might happen with ShadowWalker having made that play earlier. Falconic getting the airship early was just where ShadowWalker rather managed to defeat 2 Fiends very, very quickly. That, frankly, one of them he had no business even being in the room with at the time, but he managed to do it. So that's where Falconic's airship edge really went away because ShadowWalker already had those 2 orbs.
I said this before, that the seed really held up the runners in different places at different times.
Indeed.
Crabcakes makes an excellent point that Falconic had a miserable experience in the Earth Cave, and I think had to redive it twice.
I thought it was once.
Well,
Might
no,
have been
just
twice.
once, but there was the awful stun lock the second time.
Yeah, the stun lock the second time was horrible. That slowed him down.
Yeah, but make no mistake, ShadowWalker had his wipes as well. He had his setbacks. So the runners, I wouldn't say one had any worse luck than the other. I would just say that they had their experiences in different places. Getting the Chimera fight. The Chimera is a pretty good experience. And question in chat, why did they not class change? That was an agreement between the runners.
Yeah, that was something that they agreed to before the race. The runners are both mutually agreeing that neither of them will do a class change. So we are not going to visit Bahamut, who is actually in Zozo Melbourne today. We're not visiting him to level up.
So Temple of Fiends took out the thief for Falconic. And he has decided, you know, I kind of like that experience and I'm going to go save it.
Interesting. He's actually doing something else.
Yeah, he's restoring the thief before he gets back to the...
Yeah, that makes sense.
He's got a little bit more in the way of resources now because of those levels. So, you know, in a very tight fight against the Fiends that could make a difference. But he keeps putting the thief back up front, so it's a sacrificial lamb position. Or not. I don't know. Make up your mind, Falconic.
Well, he's going back in the past now, so here we go again. He's now about 3-4 minutes behind on the actual travel, but will he get through the floors quicker is the question.
Reset out of the damage, poison, frost dragons. I think he's working the encounter table and seeing what he gets.
He might be. There's the Chimeras. And he will continue this time.
Yeah, he saw a bunch of fights that he doesn't want to see again because they just wasted a bunch of time. So if he comes in with that knowledge, moves the encounters up a floor, then you can theoretically get a better encounter cycle through the next floor.
Meanwhile, ShadowWalker going through speed bump version 2.0.0.
This was a soft reset, so he's on a completely different encounter cycle here.
ShadowWalker advancing to the fire floor. Falconic dealing with a couple of mages here right now and a fighter.
You don't see the as you go and Topher grind a lot. That's usually an encounter people are going to run from. But it's a reasonable source of experience. Oh, I'm sorry, it was an unrunnable formation. That's why he did that.
Yeah, if it's unrunnable, he would have to fight.
We have had no shortage of unrunnable encounters. I should just assume that every time we're fighting now.
This is just a floor that you can normally go through very, very quickly because you don't usually get a lot of unrunnables here, but they were unrunnable today, so we have to fight them.
Yeah, so any concerns I had about levels, ShadowWalker is at 27 now, which is a fantastic level.
Yeah.
That's definitely over-leveled for the Temple of Fiends revisited in these flags. Now, any of these fights could still be nasty. Yeah, it is still very possible to lose, but...
Yeah, from Kraken onwards, it can just be, depending on how the RNG, the randomness rolls, it can be absolutely nasty up ahead. So this carry fight is probably the last really luxury fight you can get. And again, you can still have something really nasty like a nuclear off the carry. But in the end, it's going to be what comes after this that really determines the race.
Your biggest concern with these Fiends is how high is their HP, how high is their evade, and what script did they roll? What do they have? Question in chat about the Bane odds, but I'm not sure what fight he's asking. I think he's asking about the Agama. Because there would be the roll chances for each, so I can't do that much math while on Twitch. In general, as Chad is pointing out, 3 in 256 chances if something is resistant to it. But generally speaking, Bane is more like a 20% chance.
That was a nice string of Banes right there, though, on the group of enemies. 4 out of 5 went down to Bane.
Now, if you talk about the odds of all these Banes, the success rate he's getting, that would be substantially lower. He's had very good run with Bane today.
He has.
All the way back to when it killed Kraken 1.
And right now he's using the Ice 3. Is this another unrunnable fight?
This is. The Seafood Party Platter was unrunnable.
Oh my.
But remember, Falconic's on a different encounter cycle. He could have a very different time through here.
If he does, that's going to save him some time catching up here.
Well, it's not enough.
But we're one step away from... Didn't mean to cut you off, sorry. We're one step away from Kraken 2, so this is where things can start to get dicey. So now we want to really see what happens on ShadowWalker's side here. He puts the Thief in front, Fighter is second, thought about moving the Red Mage, still thought about it, and released the Kraken.
Lich had Nuclear.
Oh.
Almost took out 2 of Falconic's party members. ShadowWalker didn't see it. We also know now that that's off the table.
Indeed, Chaos does not have it.
We know that one of the nukes is gone from Mech. We now know one of the nuclears is gone from that Lich. That does limit the nastiness that's available to these Fiends.
We are seeing the brain strats on ShadowWalker's side right now. XXXX will not work through ribbons, not very often anyway. And, oh, Jack just got murdered.
The Quad X will only work under 300 HP anyway, so he was totally immune at that point. But gets through because that Kraken is not immune to Moss Immune. But he's down to 2 members.
I don't think we have life charges today.
Falconic sees the unrunnable Seafood Party Platter. So they're on the same floor because of that different encounter cycle.
Well, ShadowWalker's moved on to Time At's floor now, so they are 1 floor apart. So Falconic is catching up fast, and ShadowWalker got a taste of pain from that Kraken taking out the Thief. So he has to 2-man the rest of the way in order to win this race. Falconic is catching up fast and still going 3-man, and unless he has the same problem, is in a really good position to catch up and win this. And ShadowWalker has a tougher time with the 2-man party.
Tornado comes out. ShadowWalker's in very dangerous territory with this HP.
Very, very.
Uses the heal 3 wisely.
That
Quad
didn't
X,
work.
a free round. Stun another free round. And
Termination.
So what's been good news is we've seen these Fiends be very staggered in the nastiness. If you saw Nuclear followed by Tornado, that's when it's going to be rough. It's the Vampire Special!
Oh!
That was a lucky run. That easily could have destroyed him on a fail run.
Oh my.
The amount they can hit, that could have killed him. I would have been using the defense sword immediately in that.
If it was unrunnable, that could have been trouble. Anyway, we are now on Chaos. The final fight is underway, and Chaos just coming out immediately with the Cure 4. That's great. So free turn prep up with Fast and Defense. And let's see if that Cure 4 comes out again at some point very quickly. That'll be very interesting if it does. White Shirt is being used. Damage did not do much to the party. White Shirt used again to make himself more evasive. Slow 2 is not helping. Not a good spell list so far.
Slow could wreck the Knight, but he's had all those turns to power up. Lit 2 is not scary at all. Cure 4 is threatening if he's got high HP, but we're not seeing any ability of this Chaos to do damage.
Okay. Oh,
1309! Chaos
That's
is not
a
living through
record
many
for
of
me.
those.
That's a record for me.
And that's
1274, that is absolutely brutal. Wow.
Falconic is on Kraken.
And that was an official SRL time of 2 hours, 2 minutes, and 11 seconds. Get your GGs in chat if you have not already.
That was not a scary chaos. It seems like all the nasty rolled out from the earlier Fiends.
No, that chaos was just all bark and no bite. The Fiends were tougher than he was.
So waiting for ShadowWalker to get the invite to join us. I'm guessing he was feeling the pressure every step until Kraken, and I guess that'll be my first question to ShadowWalker.
Yeah, well, you think he's here? GG.
He is here. Yes. Go ahead, Shadow.
What was the question? Sorry, I just jumped in.
Were you feeling the pressure right up to the chaos?
Basically, yeah. Kraken always hits super hard, so that was one of my fears, especially not having Life or Life 2 available. That's kind of the danger of not doing the promotion with only a Red Mage. And, so yeah, it was a little bit worried.
If you had to guess what maybe your best play was in terms of giving you this seed, what do you think it was?
Walking all the way back to Provoca to pick up Pro Rings and Bane after doing Mermaids.
I was actually going to say
that.
The success of Bane, but sure.
I can accept
early
that
Kraken
answer.
build definitely paid off.
I can accept that answer. I was thinking he might say that you might say the play to take out Kraken right away was probably your best play, but I can see Provoca being a good possible option as well. But I want to go back to that. You found the canoe on the second floor of the Sea Shrine right before Kraken's floor, and instead of getting out with that thing progressing, you did something that got, I think, a lot of us here by surprise, ourselves and in chat. And you just went straight down to the Kraken floor. What was going through your mind when you did that?
That's exactly why I walked all the way back to buy those Pro Rings and buy Bane. I needed to kill, and I never double dip. So that was always the plan.
Well, it definitely paid off tonight. Falconic is doing the Chaos lap since he knows he doesn't have anything to lose. Not the victory lap, the Chaos lap. He's gone around the entire floor.
He literally has. No one cares on this floor. He's showing that off very well right now.
So, looking this from a third-party view, Shadow, it seemed like it actually ended up being a pretty linear seed when you get down to it, because you constantly had to go to just one location to get your progress.
I was going to comment on that, in fact. It was the most roundabout linear seed ever. There was really only ever one option at a time. We got Oxiel right off the bat, so immediately I knew, okay, we're going to see Sea Shrine early, but that was the only option once Pirates gave the Opal Bracelet. I tried to find a key item in Marsh, but it was not to be had. So, that was...
Oh no! I think Slow 2 just hit on Falconic.
I think it did, because it came early in the spell list for ShadowWalker as well.
Oh, he cast it, but I'm saying I think it landed. Yeah, he's not hitting.
It's a one-man strategy, too. It's not going to work very well, I don't think.
Well...
There's a nuclear! He had a nuclear!
He filed nuclear swirl. That was in the ability list, so Shadow didn't see it. Just like he didn't see nuclear from Lich, but that's different.
Yeah, Chaos favored the spells on me rather than
and
skills.
Fire 3 does it in. That's going to be enough for Falconic.
Yeah.
He's going to forfeit.
He will forfeit that.
I don't blame him. That Topher was gross. While the random encounters weren't terribly dangerous, there were so many unrunnables.
Yeah, you had a lot of fights on the fire and water floors especially.
And the 3 Chimera Gemera fights, like, right off the bat.
Yeah.
So let's not just gloss over the fact that you killed Warbank for experience, and that almost bit you.
You know, play it close to the vest. My plan was always to try to kill Warmech if I saw him. Fortunately for me, he didn't have HP, so it worked. But yeah, that very much could have gone south very quickly.
Oh,
Thieves are great for running, right? Well, it doesn't work too well when the enemies are unrunnable.
yeah, we're getting our thoughts from Falconic before he even gets in here. So many unrunnables.
Was there anything else about this one that really stood out to you, Shadow?
It was interesting doing a no class change seed. That was the agreement that Falconic and I had. I imagine you guys went over it, but Fighter Red Thief was an interesting party, and not having class change made it a lot more interesting than the party would have been otherwise.
Well, Falconic is showing us some of the less talked to NPCs, but now we can talk to Falconic because he has joined us.
GG.
Well, sometimes one is all you need.
Yeah, thieves suck. I hate thieves.
Dude, my thief would not stay alive. Despite my best efforts, I revived that guy like 7 times throughout the season.
He deserves to die. Thieves couldn't. I saw more can't runs from the thief tonight than I've ever seen in my life, and I'm never playing a thief again. Even when the fixes come, he's dead to me.
Yeah. It feels real bad when you see thief can't run. That definitely is true.
90% chance to run. Can't run. I had fun though. The seed sucked. But I feel like I played it really well, so I was kind of surprised to see you finish because I thought I was really crushing it. But
Do I need to remind you of your quote, Falconic?
Which quote? I say a lot of stupid things.
From the SRL room when you asked me to roll this?
Oh, no, yeah. You lived up to your... That's why I wanted you to roll it, because I didn't want something super easy.
So you were actually the first in the air by close to 16 minutes, in fact, but that's a little misleading because Shadow killed Kraken.
Yeah, I was going to ask if you could predict what happened early in the seed that might have caused a difference here, and in the end, ShadowWalker went straight down to Kraken's floor and managed to... I'm not sure if it was Brack or... I think it was Bane. Wasn't it Bane that you used, ShadowWalker?
Bane. We didn't have Brack at that point.
Yeah, you had Bane, and it hit, and that was the difference right there.
I won't say that that's lucky, because it takes a set of cojones to do that. But it feels bad when somebody that's clearly a better runner than you gets that kind of advantage. But good on you. You had the.
I'll tell you this: when you both watch this back, you're gonna see that for as much trouble as you had, the other runner had something else somewhere else. Mm-hmm. You both took wipes in dungeons, but they were different dungeons. That Earth Cave was just a nightmare, for example.
Yeah, the trance party sucked.
Yeah, it did. But, not only did the Bane land, but I also paid for it in time. I did not pick up Bane when I first went to Provoca. And
Neither did
I dug Mermaids first, didn't see a loose item. Then I went and did all of Marsh, except the key lock, because we didn't have the key, and saw no key item. And I said, okay, I'm not double dipping, so I'm going to go buy that Bane. And I walked my happy butt all the way back up to Canaria to buy Pro Rings, and all the way back up to Provoca to buy Bane.
Yeah, you can't argue it, right? It was a good play. You obviously won because of it. It's a little demoralizing to know that I beat you to the air so fast, and yet you still won. But, I didn't even kill Chaos, so it's all semantics, right? I would have lost anyways. That slow 2 was a backbreaker.
Yeah, that was unfortunate. So you get to do this up to 2 more times, because this is a best of 3 series.
It'll be 1 more, come on.
Up to 2 times.
I still maintain you're going to take a game off me.
I doubt it. Thank you, though.
So, with that thought in mind, any thoughts, ShadowWalker?
Falconic's a great friend. He's one of the very first people that actually got me directly into the community. I'd seen FFR and played FFR offline, and I was watching a race in Twitch chat one. hey, we're doing a Discord voice chat party. Come hang out in Discord. And I was like, all right. And that's what really got me into the community and racing. So to be able to play you in a tournament feels really good, man. Wouldn't have it any other way.
Yeah, I told him in the SRO room before the match that there's nobody else I'd rather lose to. I think I feel like I've settled into my role in FFR, where I'm more of a teacher than a doer. I think there are just too many people that are so much better at this game than I'll ever be. So I had a lot of fun. I hope it was entertaining. I thank Shadow for doing the kind of the weird party, but also the weird rules of no class change. It's always fun to give a show different from what anyone else is going to run, and I feel like you're going to see a lot of fighter red whites this week, and that's kind of boring. And I am calling everybody out. If you're running in the bracket and you run a standard party, stop it. What are you doing? You know you can beat the game. Get out of your comfort zone and start putting on a show, because people are actually watching you, and we don't want to see standard parties. So I'm calling you out right now to stop playing stupid, boring parties. I mean, unless you're not good enough, right? If you're not good enough at this game, then keep playing your boring parties, by all means. But anyway, Shadow, humongous respect for you. I've watched you come in and learn from me and Mo and Will and Edgeworth, and now you're better than I'll ever be. So it's a tremendous honor to play you in a tournament.
Well, there is a lot of Final Fantasy 1 Randomizer going on tonight. I think we have one or two more matches going on right now, so if you just browse around Twitch under Final Fantasy Randomizer, you can see that. There's a lot of action ahead on the Speed Gaming family of networks, so hope you're following all of them. We love Speed Gaming. Thank you all so much. I have been Trenton. It's been a pleasure to be a part of this race. Falconic, ShadowWalker, thank you both for a great show. And thank you to each and every one of you who spent this part of your evening with us. Hope you had fun. With that, I'll say goodnight. Take us home, Cyclone.
Well, I actually want to just say, first of all, let me actually bring up the links to the chat again very quickly, if I can, to follow the runners. They are definitely putting on a great show here, and you definitely want to make sure you follow them. If you are watching on our YouTube channel, just what you would type in is twitch.tv/Falconic_FF and ShadowWalker227, respectively, for their channels. You can get to either of their channels, thank them for this fantastic race and all the others throughout this tournament, and hang out with them, get to know them, and chat with them a little bit. So it's a chance to connect with the runners as well, which is a really nice thing to be able to do here on Twitch. So feel free to come by and watch a live race with us as well sometime. Go to speedgaming.org/schedule to catch any events for Final Fantasy Randomizer or any other events like our Kirby, Link to the Past, Magic the Gathering, anything else that we have going on here at Speed Gaming as well. Let's follow Speed Gaming and Speed Gaming 236 as well. Make sure you follow our tracker as well. Our tracker today was crab_cakes. My co-commentator Trenton GL. I'm Cyclone or Cyclone GU. And I think that's good enough. I want to just wish everyone a wonderful afternoon, or a wonderful evening, rather. Have a good night, and we will definitely see you for the next one. Definitely keep an eye out on the schedule for all the Final Fantasy Randomizer going on here on Speed Gaming. We would love to see you for more of them. If you are watching on YouTube, you'll see another one right after this on our playlist. Have a good night, everyone.